Hi, Patricia Martucci here, just checking in, and I wanted to come on and offer a tool, as I know that a lot of people that I'm speaking to are feeling quite overwhelmed, just, rightfully so, with a lot of things that are going on, in our world around us. And so I know it can feel really difficult to know sometimes what we can do and the actions that we can take, or how to take care of ourselves while there's just a lot of unrest. So I wanted to come on and provide this tool that I have personally found to be super helpful, and I know that a lot of my clients use this as well, and it's really called the Circles of Control. Okay, so I have my little journal here. I'm actually currently in Malta, so I don't have a lot of my stuff with me, but I do have a journal, and I have this cute little pen that I got. So I'm gonna show you in the journal what you can do at home. Okay, so we're gonna draw two circles. We're gonna draw an inside circle and an outside circle. So it's gonna look something like this. And so in the inside circle, we can put things I have control over. And in the outside circle, we're going to put things I have no control over. Okay. And so this can be helpful sometimes. I think a lot of us can feel just a strong sense of overwhelm, when there's things going on around us that we really don't have any control about. And, we can sometimes not really know, or sort of spend a lot of time really focusing on the things that we don't have control over, whereas we don't really get a great return on our investment by doing that. And oftentimes it can help us to feel stuck, and really just we can stay stuck in that rumination and that cycle of going on and on and on, around in our heads, and having this obsession about the things that we can't really control. But there are certain things that we can always do to empower ourselves in any situation, and also take care of ourselves. And those are the things that are going to go in the inner circle. So we can use this again for anything. I use it with clients who are going through a breakup, who are at a job where they're not really having the best experience. Also, in family dynamics, considering, what it is that, where it is that we want to put our energy, what we want to spend our energy doing. So, and I think it can apply definitely in a situation like the one that we're in now, where there's, a lot of just unrest going on, in the world around us. And it can really, we can spend a lot of time, looking at the news or focusing on stuff that really is beyond our control. And we want to know what's going on. I think there is a time to do that. But if we're finding ourselves getting exhausted, burnt out, or spending too much time and not enough action on the things that we can do in our life to really take care of ourselves and really have the influence and impact on, or put our energy towards things that we can influence and impact in our daily lives, in the moment, And so, for example, in the inner circle, sometimes things I have control over, and this is more general, my behavior, right? My response to things. We can say my self-care, right? Eating, getting enough sleep, which is kind of in the inner and outer circle too. We can set ourselves up to do that. We can't necessarily control, the amount of sleep that we get, or, have too much control over that directly. But in our inner circle, we can also have things like, maybe more behavioral stuff. If we're talking about sleep, I can put my phone outside of my room at this time. I can start to wind down at this time. So the pattern is like noticing that our behavior is in the inner circle. It's things that we can do, actionable things that we can do that can, impact and influence, our experience that we have, which then can put us in a position to also be able to show up for the greater things that are around us, our family, our friends, the causes we care about, all that stuff that, if we're not in a place where we're feeling strong, well rested, nourished, we're gonna have a hard time showing up to those things in the right state of mind and at our best self, So on the outer circle, we'll move to the outer circle. The things that, and this is for things that we spend a lot of time maybe ruminating on, that we don't have control over, or just things that we might kind of keep going back to and getting frustrated with that really are out of our control. So, what is out of control? Really, other people, to put it simply, other people's behavior is out of our control directly. So we can't really control that. So the best we can do is focus on, our response to other people's behavior and take it back to ourselves of, okay, what do I need to do to make myself feel okay in this moment so that I can be in a position to show up and be the best version of myself that I want to be, again, to align with, the things that we care about in life, right? So another thing is places. Like, we don't have people, places, and things, really, we don't have very much direct control over. We don't have control over other people's decisions, that affect us sometimes tremendously, so that's really on the outer circle. But what we do have is a voice, and we can speak up, we can choose, where we want to align our voice with and how we want to use it. Now that would be more on the inner circle. And so you kind of get the idea. It's basically just a tool that can be helpful, again, if we find ourselves getting stuck or overwhelmed in regards to knowing what we can do or what direction to move on and what kind of actions we can take. And it kind of looks like this. I filled in, a little bit of it, but you can do this with anything. And, and I hope this helps. All right, bye-bye.